We would like to take a moment to provide the land acknowledgement as was adopted by the LA County Board of Supervisors. The County of Los Angeles recognizes that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Kizh, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. We acknowledge the settler colonization resulted in land seizure, disease, subjugation, slavery, relocation, broken promises, genocide, multi-generational trauma. The acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of the Los Angeles County. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these ancestral lands. We are dedicated to growing and sustaining relationships with Native peoples and local tribal governments. Please welcome our MC for this event, Emmy Award winner, KTLA reporter, and co-anchor for the KTLA Weekend Morning News, Megan Tellez.
Hello, everyone. I know you all are still getting in, taking pictures with our mayor. This is wonderful. What a beautiful evening. Can we give a round of applause to everyone who put this together, the entire team of our Mayor Karen Bass? Buenas tardes. Thank you so much for joining us today. And another round of applause, if I can get everyone's attention. You can take a seat if you want. You can continue to stand. I think this is a party at this point, so I'm just going to keep it rolling here. But I want to give it up for the performance from the Inca Peruvian Ensemble. We want to go to see them again at the end of this program. So again, round of applause for them. Inca, we do appreciate you being here today. All right, if I can grab everyone's attention, I'm going to start doing some introductions now as we continue this season of Hispanic Heritage Month and celebrating diversity right here in our great community. Again, I'm Megan Tellez. I am with KTLA Channel 5 News. So many of you have come up and said you wake up with me every morning, so I do appreciate you getting your day and your week started with all of us at KTLA Channel 5. We just had a Hispanic Heritage Month special that aired. It's very important to me that we continue to shine light on the stories, on the community, on the movers and shakers of our Southern California region within the community who are really doing great things to represent all of us. All right, let's begin our introductions now. Okay, I'd like to introduce a remarkable young poet who will perform for us a poem that was featured in the International Paris-Los Angeles Poetry Relay event, which took place just last month at the conclusion of the Paralympic Games in Paris. Now, to celebrate the handoff, our two cities collaborated on a 12-hour poetry and music live stream telecast event that started across the Atlantic in France and then jumped to LA with a performance held at the Los Angeles Central Library. Now, through the LA Department of Cultural Affairs, LA selected 8 American poets, while Paris selected more than 20 poets and musicians who performed for the international audience on the theme of art plus sports, which reached thousands of people. We'd like to acknowledge Daniel Tarica. She's the general manager of the Department of Cultural Affairs, and Jimmy Vega, associate director at Beyond Baroque, who co-produced the LA Poetry Relay event in collaboration with Paris. If we can give them a round of applause, please. Right there. Are you waving your hands? Is that you, both of you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, who's ready to meet our poet? Can I get a woo-woo? Just so I know we have everyone's attention here today. Thank you. Okay, her name is Sonia Gunyansaka. She's an international award-winning queer migrant, indigenous Quechua Cañari poet, cultural organizer, and social justice activist. Born in Ecuador, migrating right here to the U.S. at the age of 5 to reunite with their parents, Sonia has over 17 years of movement and cultural organizing experience, which began when they were among the first waves of young people to publicly come out as undocumented. Now, Sonia holds a degree from Hunter College. They have published books and poems and is working on a memoir and has held prestigious residencies across the country. Sonia has a strong focus on supporting young people and lifting up the voices of those who must navigate life as undocumented people. Where's Sonia? Please come to the stage.
I'm a little shorter, so we're going to bring this down. This poem is dedicated to all children around the world, all Latinx, all undocumented children, migrant children, and especially our mommies, our migrant mothers, our Latinas mothers everywhere. Leap. In the middle of a soccer field, my mother teaches me how to kick a ball. Sundays are game days, so between her work days, she teaches me how to dribble, to play defense, to be strong, to run, to leap, to fall. I am a child, so I love the fun and adventure that comes from being on the field with her. She doesn't like when I fall, but it builds character. So I leap and fall with confidence over and over again. For migrant mothers like my mommy, watching their child play is a victory. Laughing, playing, living, I get to be whatever I dream, both athlete and poet. We win when children get to be children. We win when children get to be children. During practices, the world stops. It's just me and my mother, the worn-out soccer ball she could afford, the worn-out sneakers instead of cleats, the community art programs with the sliding scale. During actual games, I play good defense. The park in my neighborhood is filled with incredible athletes and artists in the making, families in the background cheering us on, abuelitas and aunties teaching kids to run, to fly, to leap. Merengues and cumbias blasting from a car radio near the playground. This makes everything even better. We dance around with our soccer balls and basketballs and even skateboards. Poems grow from these fields. Sports and the arts are the space of imagination and possibilities. This is how we become possible. Children are just children on these fields, dreaming, eventually becoming adults, playing in community leagues, colleges, and even the Olympics. And sometimes they become poets and artists, running, leaping, rising, grass under our feet, strong and mighty, fierce and glorious, alive and free. Thank you, everyone.
Another round of applause for Sonia. She takes a photo with Mayor Karen Bass, who will be coming to the stage in just a moment. I now have the pleasure of introducing our host for this event, as mentioned, Mayor Karen Bass. Mayor Bass is a daughter of our city. She has been an advocate for the Latino community her entire life. After serving as a frontline healthcare provider in East LA as a nurse and a physician assistant, Mayor Bass founded the Community Coalition to organize the predominantly Black and Latino residents of South LA against substance abuse, against poverty and crime, and to pioneer strategies to address the root causes behind the challenges faced by underserved neighborhoods. Now, Mayor Bass took those organizing strategies with her to the California Assembly, where she became the Speaker of the Assembly, and to Congress, where she served in the United States House of Representatives. Now, when in Sacramento, she helped lead California through the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. Mayor Bass was an outspoken advocate for our dreamers and locked arms with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus to ensure that pandemic resources made it directly to our communities. Let's give it up for her. We still have more to go. Just want to make sure you know that we love you. Now, as mayor, she continues to fight for the Latino community, prioritizing representation in her office and in the city's highest positions, including appointing the first ever Latina to lead the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. How about that? There you go. And today, celebrating the announcement that Lourdes Castro Ramirez, is she here? Where's our girl Lourdes at? There she is. Chief of Housing and Homelessness will now serve as the president and CEO of the Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles, becoming the first Latina to serve in this position in more than 3 decades. Mayor Bass, thank you for all of your work to build up the Latino community and for understanding the importance of representation. I can't say it enough as someone who's in television, one of the few brown faces on KTLA in the anchor position. I feel like it's oftentimes, I know it is my responsibility because if young people, right, it's all about the next generation and the one after that. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I understand that if they can see people that look like us, whether it be on television or in the highest position in our town, then they, whether they know it or not, they begin to believe it, right? If you see it, you can believe it. We say it all the time, but it really matters. So thank you for leading the way in that case. Come to the stage. Please give it up for our Mayor, Karen Bass.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to be here in LA on a wonderful LA day to celebrate Latino Heritage Month. So today we have convened Latino excellence here at City Hall, elected Latino leaders who serve the people of Los Angeles at all levels, and I have to say Los Angeles County, because there's a number of individuals here who are mayors and representatives from other cities. On behalf of all communities here in LA, September 15th through October 15th, we officially celebrate Latino Heritage Month. But year-long, we recognize contributions made by leaders and we emphasize the importance of representation. Just like Minga was saying, when you grow up and you see yourself represented, you don't even think about it. And that's the way we want the next generation to be. For it to be an assumption that you are represented at all levels. So let me just acknowledge several other mayors that are here. The mayor of Baldwin Park is here. Mayor Estrada, wave your hands. The mayor of Pico Rivera, Andrew Lotta, raise your hand. The mayor of Norwalk, Margarita Rios. All right. We have our state senator, Archulecha here. Archulecha, where are you? We have, where you are, right in front of me, sitting right next to me. We have State Senator Maria Elena Durazo, Assemblywoman Wendy Carrillo, and we have our very own city attorney, I will say the first woman elected to be city attorney, who happens to be Latina and happens to be from Puerto Rico. Heidi Soto Felston. So join me in a round of applause. Give a round of applause to all of these leaders that are here. And I know we were celebrating our CEO at the Department of Water and Power and now our CEO for HACLA, the Housing Authority. Very, very happy to see the advancement of people in the office. And let me just say for Lourdes Castro Ramirez, who we convinced to come back home from Sacramento to be our Chief of Housing and Homelessness, and now to take over the Housing Authority, which will help us double and triple down our commitment to make sure that we get Angelenos housed. I also want to point out representatives of my administration who serve at the highest level. Celine Codoro, Deputy Chief of Staff. Solomon Rivera, Deputy Chief of Staff. Nancy Sutley, Deputy Mayor of Energy and Sustainability. Jared Rivera, Deputy Mayor of Community Engagement. Claudia Aragon, Director of Immigrant Affairs. And tonight's honorees, Danny Trejo, actor, movie star. He has a new movie coming out. It's called Seven Cemeteries. So he's going to be a, what did you say you were going to be, Danny? He's going to be a zombie. He's going to be a zombie. Danny Trejo, who I'm also very happy to call a friend. Jocelyn Duarte. And Edward Tuzesa. Thank you for exemplifying our city's strength, our city's culture, and our city's beauty. It is an honor to recognize each of you here tonight, and I want to thank everyone for joining us here this afternoon. And as we all know, in a few short months, we're going to be welcoming the world to our city. Everybody talks about the Olympics. I'm not talking about the Olympics. I'm talking about in 2026 in February, the All-Star basketball game. A few months later, the U.S. Open in golf for women. Then a few months after that, the World Cup. 8 games will be played here, but it will last for 40 days. In 2027, it will be the Super Bowl. Then we will get around to the Olympics in 2028. But let me just say that when the Olympics come here and all these other events come here, we want to make sure that when the world comes, the world just doesn't think of Los Angeles as the world-famous tourist sites, but we want the world to understand that East LA and Pico Union and South LA and the San Fernando Valley, all parts of the San Fernando Valley, are also part of Los Angeles. And we want everybody to go there because we want businesses to benefit. We want people to see the historic murals of East LA, the Great Wall in the San Fernando Valley. We want people to know that the world is represented in Los Angeles, and we want to welcome the world here. So thank you very much. Special congratulations to our honorees, and let's continue to have a great time. And now it's time for our honorees to come up. Thank you so much for emceeing today.
Thank you for having me. Can I get one Go Dodgers?
Go Dodgers!
Wait, let's go Dodgers! Let's go tomorrow. Big game tomorrow, Game 5. So good to have you here. Obviously, you're hosting the event. But very cool. All things said by you, Mayor, absolutely true. Danny, can't wait to see you. You were just on KTLA this morning. You were just on the show, and I was talking Dodgers. So here we go. I am delighted to be able to share with you some remarkable community members to be honored today. The first of the people I am privileged to welcome to the stage, I was just sitting next to in the most beautiful dress. She's right over there. Jocelyn Duarte, the Executive Director of the Salvadoran American Leadership Education Fund, better known as SALEF, where she plays a vital role in providing essential educational and legal services to immigrant communities, advocating for their rights, their well-being. Now, Salvadorans are the 3rd largest population of Hispanic origin living, not in Los Angeles, but in the United States. And Los Angeles is home to the largest number of Salvadorans in the country. There you go, representation, it matters. Providing this important constituency with culturally sensitive services makes the work of SALEF even more important. Now, in addition to her leadership role with SALEF, Duarte is a lifelong learner and dedicated educator. She holds bachelor and master's degrees and is a tenured track professor at East Los Angeles Community College and the Chicano Studies Department, where she explores issues of cultural understanding and social justice advocacy. Now, she is also a part-time faculty member in the Central American and Transborder Studies Department. That's over at California State University Northridge, where her research interests cover Central America studies and gender and women's studies. She is currently, ooh, girl, you are busy. She is currently pursuing a doctorate in educational leadership at Cal State LA, continuing to be a driving force for positive change, inspiring others to create a more equitable and inclusive society. It's about time we introduce to the stage Jocelyn Duarte.
Buenas tardes a todos. Good afternoon, everybody. I am deeply honored and humbled to stand here before you to receive this recognition during Hispanic Heritage Month. I want to extend a heartfelt gratitude to our Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and Claudia Aragon of Immigrant Affairs for this recognition, and to everybody who has helped me along my way in my journey. This recognition is not just mine. It belongs to the countless Central Americans like Carlos Vaquerano, Salvador Sanabria, and Marta Arevalo that for decades have paved the way for my community. My story is one of many within the Central American community. I am the proud daughter of a Salvadoran mother, a Guatemalan father, that both fled U.S.-sponsored violence from their home countries. As a product of this diasporic movement, my story is deeply rooted in the sacrifices and the dreams of my immigrant parents who came here with the hope of building a better future. It is the sacrifices of my parents, my family, and my collective community that fuels my work, and not only in higher education, but here in my community. So this award for me reflects values that were instilled in me by my family and by my culture. Growing up, I'm a firstborn daughter. As a first-gen college graduate, I was taught that hard work and dedication are at the core of everything that we do. But I also have learned through my tenure that it's equally important to lift others as we climb, that we don't forget the communities that we come from, and to fight for the future where everybody has the opportunity to thrive. Hispanic Heritage Month holds a very special place in all of our hearts, but it's also a time to reflect and to celebrate all the incredible contributions that all Latino communities have made to our beautiful Ciudad de Los Angeles and beyond. But it is also a time for us to recognize the diversity that exists within the Latino community, because when we use the term Latino, it's very broad. And at times, it can actually erase the diversity that exists within our communities. Latinos are Black, Latinos are Indigenous, Latinos are not, we don't only speak Spanish, but Quiché, Canjoval, Quechua, and Zapotec. Latinos are Garífonas. Latino identities are at the multiple intersections of race, ethnicity, class, gender, and sexuality. We are diverse and inclusive at the experience of all of our community. As we honor our vibrant cultures today, rich traditions, and diverse perspectives, and our unbreakable spirit of persistence, most importantly, our collective history, we must also remember that this celebration is not just about reflecting about the past, but also how we envision a more equitable future. It's a reminder that the work must amplify the voices of all and advance our communities must continue. Adelante y con fuerzas, gracias.
Another round of applause for the very accomplished Jocelyn Duarte. She takes photos with Mayor Karen Bass. Now our next honoree is Edward Atuesta. Where is he at? I heard it right here. Oh, right there. Okay. Edward Atuesta has already established himself as a fan favorite and a legend for the Los Angeles Football Club. He originally joined LAFC during the club's inaugural season back in 2018, where the 21-year-old Colombian quickly became a marquee player for LAFC as he helped the club establish itself as one of the top teams in the league. Is that right? Woo! Atuesta was recognized as a Major League Soccer All-Star and a member of the 2020 MLS Best 10. Now, Edward returned to Los Angeles this year for the 2024 season after spending 2 seasons away from us. He was over in Brazil, where he won back-to-back Brazilian championships. Congrats to you. This season, Edward is again one of LAFC's top performers, recently leading the Black and Gold to the 2024 U.S. Open Cup trophy and one of the top records in the league as the club prepares to kick off the 2024 MLS Cup playoffs. Already one of just 3 players in LAFC history to appear in over 120 regular season matches, Atuesta and LAFC will attempt to make an unprecedented 3rd consecutive appearance in the MLS Cup championship. Good luck to you guys. Now, Edward takes those amazing skills out into the community, joining in LAFC's community events across LA. These include soccer pitch renovations, youth soccer clinics, local schools, and much more. In July, he hosted 20 older kids ages 10 to 14 from the Kids Save Columbia Summer Miracles program. Now, children stay with host families for 4 to 5 weeks in this program during the summertime, and designated communities throughout the U.S. experience the joys of summertime, because who doesn't love that, and in the best cases, have a real chance to find permanent, loving, adoptive families. With all of that said, please come to the stage, Edward Atuesta.
Bueno, buenas tardes a todos. Les quiero dar las gracias a la ciudad de Los Ángeles por la invitación a celebrar el mes de la herencia latina.
I want to say thank you to the city of Los Angeles for this invitation and celebrate Latin Heritage Month.
Para mí y mi familia es un honor poder estar aquí representando a mi país, Colombia, a la comunidad latina de Los Ángeles y a LAFC.
For me and my family, it's an honor to be here and represent my country, Colombia, and the Latin community in Los Angeles and LAFC.
Desde mi llegada a Los Ángeles me ha acogido a mí y a mi familia con mucho cariño, y es un honor poder llamarle mi hogar y poder celebrar las hermosas culturas que forman parte de esta gran ciudad. Gracias a todos. Dios los bendiga.
Since I arrived here in Los Angeles, I was embraced, my family and I were embraced with much love and honor to be able to call this place my home and to celebrate the beautiful cultures that form part of this great city. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Edward Atuesta. Now, our final honoree today, he's gotten some shout outs. Had a chance to chat with him behind the scenes. We were at the late great Sam Rubin's celebration of life a couple of weekends ago, where I really got to know Danny Trejo, which, by the way, Sam Rubin loved Danny. When I got to KTLA 6-7 years ago, Sammy was sure to always tell me, "Have you tried his tacos? Have you gone?" I think he knew we are our people, right? We're proud. Danny Trejo, who has had a prolific and successful, if unconventional, career, transforming from years of imprisonment to helping troubled youth battle drug addictions, then growing from acting to producing, and now expanding his restaurant ventures. Danny's name, Danny's face, and achievements, and the machete around his neck, right? Well recognized in Hollywood and, quite frankly, around the world. Not surprisingly, though, his roles as intervention counselor and a devoted father of 3 bring him the most satisfaction. Now, Danny has starred in dozens of films, including Desperado, Heat, Spy Kids, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and, as mentioned, Machete. And he has the one coming out tomorrow, 7 Cemeteries, where we're going to see a zombie Danny Trejo. Spooky, right? His colorful life and prolific career are chronicled in the bio-documentary Inmate Number 1. If you haven't seen it, add it to your list, right to the top. It's fantastic. It was released back in 2020. He also released his fearlessly honest memoir, Trejo, My Life of Crime, Redemption in Hollywood. That was 1 year later in 2021. His expanding restaurant empire includes Trejo's Tacos and Cantina and Trejo's Coffee and Donuts, with the 5th location coming soon right here in downtown LA. And then just in March of this year, Trejo's Tacos expanded internationally. Anyone know where? Any guesses? In London. What? Danny? Everyone, please welcome to the stage the man, the myth, the legend, Danny Trejo.
Who wouldn't watch her on Channel 5? Come on. I'm Danny Trejo, and I live in the city of dreams. I live in a city that dreams can come true. It doesn't matter how far any ladder you go down, Los Angeles, hey, it's here, and you can make it if you try. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love Mayor Bass. I love our governor. These guys have really helped a lot of people, more than you even know. I started out right down the street, Temple and Fig, right there, and then from there, Juvenile Hall, and then from there, Youth Authority, and then from there, San Quentin. So I started out wrong, but coming out, all I had to do for me, stop using drugs and alcohol, and all of a sudden, my whole life changed, and I became a drug counselor. And you got to understand, everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. Everything. I did a movie called Blood In, Blood Out, and I did it in San Quentin. And I met a guy from Baldwin Park, a guy named Mario Castillo. And I started talking to him and told him about what was going on. And 8 years later, I met him in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. I took your advice, man, I'm clean. And we started palling around. And I got to say that 10 years ago, Mario Castillo saved my son's life because my son had gotten into drugs. And right now, Mario's got about 28 years clean. I got 56. Wait. My son that was almost dying, he's got 10 years clean. From the day Mario, because I got to tell you something, I was in Germany doing some movie, I don't know, and Mishko, a kid that grew up at my house with my son, called me and said, "Hey, Gilbert's in a lot of trouble, man, we got to help him, está usando," because stupid dad, he's got the key to my safe. So it's not unlimited funds, but there's money there. So, and if there's money, you got friends and drugs. And so Mishko says he's muriendo, he's dying. And so I called up and Mario, I said, "I'm not coming home for 3 days. Don't worry. 6 hours later, Mario calls me and says, "I got him, don't worry. I got him. No tiene zapatos. He got no shoes, but it's all right, he's here." And right now, my son is clean 10 years. From that day, my son is in the DGA. He's a director. He just did a film about me and him, and it's going to Cannes. And I don't know how anybody, I've never really, the only pride that I ever had are things that I've done. You know what I mean? And it's so funny to be so overwhelmed with pride in your children, pride in your town. I love Mayor Bass. Let me tell you, there's no greater place. I've been all over the world now. I've been in the movie business since 1985, and I've been all over the world. I have seen no place that's as beautiful and as warm as Los Angeles. I gotta say that. It's like coming home. It's like coming home. And we've got this unbelievable mayor that is like putting it back together. And it's beautiful to see what is going on here. I've lived right across the street in the county jail for a long time. But to watch everything that is going on, I wish everybody could go to places that I've been to where you see nothing but poverty, nothing. And it's like, man, I have seen blocks and blocks and blocks and miles of tents where people are living. And it's like, you know what? We have a homeless problem, but the ladies take care of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're cool. It's like I've noticed slowly that where the homeless start congregating, all of a sudden they're in shelters somewhere. And that's what we want. Thank you, Mayor Bass. Any reward I get, I love. Thank you. And we're going to keep doing it, me and Mario. That's Mario. It's the guy that saved my son's life. You know what I mean? And that's what we do. We work with parolees. We work with people with addiction. We work with you people that are homeless. That's what we do. God bless you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mayor Bass. Thank you.